Tonight at 5:30, Arizona school voucher program is threatening to push state finances into the red. Parents can use those vouchers to put their kids in private school.
And all of Arizona's 1 million K-12 students are eligible. New estimates from the governor's office now show the cost to taxpayers is approaching $1 billion for this program in our next year. Our political editor, Dennis Welch, is here tonight. So that is about what was doubled when it was originally projected in the budget, right?
Yes, yeah, and there's always a lot of different, opinions and ideas when we start talking like numbers with education. We were just talking about that a little bit before we started here, but one thing is sure is that this program is growing, and it's growing by a lot. Now, if the governor's projections are accurate, the state could face a massive budget shortfall. I want to show you what the governor's office is forecasting, but first we have to start with what's already been agreed to. Now, back in May, the governor and the legislature brokered a deal to fund about 68,000 students in the voucher program at a total cost of about $624 million. Now, according to the governor's new projections, her office estimates enrollment will balloon to more than 97,000 students for the school year that is just getting underway, with costs skyrocketing to more than $940 million. If Hobbs' numbers are accurate, Arizona could find itself in a nearly $320 billion in a hole in the budget, digging a deeper hole in the state's current state spending plan. Now, in response to the governor's latest projections, the president of the Arizona Education Association called the voucher program a, quote, billion-dollar boondoggle, and told me this.
As a mom of a public school student, I'm alarmed. As an educator and someone who works with educators every day, it's disappointing that we are going to continue to see taxpayer funneled to very small groups of people and not helping ensure our community schools are strong.
House Speaker Ben Toma, a very strong supporter of the ESA program, disagrees with the governor's analysis. And in a statement, he says the governor's estimates are baseless and comes just weeks after she signed the bipartisan state budget, which fully funds all of Arizona's school choice programs, including ESAs. Now, beyond warning of the cost, the governor is also telling us she wants to work with the legislature to require more transparency and accountability from these private schools that take taxpayer money.
It's interesting because I know it comes down to dollars and cents, and that's why public schools are like so hard against truancy. They're following the money. Yeah. I always thought it was the same line item. It doesn't matter if you're public or you're private, you're going to get the same dollars for Johnny if he goes to this school or to a private school. And so why are we seeing that big discrepancy? A lot of the stuff is based on needs, because you have a basic line where all students start off on. And in public schools, they call them weights. Depending on what your needs are, there's extra money. If you're a special needs student, you're obviously going to get more money to deal and educate that student. So education funding is a complex thing, and that's why I say there's always disagreements about how much money, per pupil is going to cost. Some people have different figures, which, affects forecasts like this and whatnot. And there are some disagreements about how much each ESA student receives, depending on who you talk to.
Yeah, it definitely continues to be one of the most divisive issues down at the state capitol. Dennis, thanks.